I'm Kristen Dessange, and I've been teaching yoga for 14 years. One of the problems I identified with seeing students is that there's a lot of striving in their trying to perfect themselves, or to at least feel like they're confident in the poses. And then there's not a lot of information about how to prevent injuries or to even... Well, I mean, I can just even speak from my own experience. When I first became a teacher, it was after a 200-hour program, which is standard in the industry, and I started teaching and I realized I had no real clue. I mean, I felt like it was a good starting point, but it really was just the tip of the iceberg. There was wasn't as much depth. We learned about anatomy, we learned how to prevent injuries, how to modify things, but it really wasn't as experiential. And so I think this would be a really powerful course for not only teachers to increase in their knowledge base, but also for students to also come in to be empowered to really take ownership of their practice and to grow in a way that's safe. But it's important for these workshops to be held because there's always a constant need to really be informed with how to move safely in your body, because when you have boundaries of protection, when you know how to modify things, and as I started to over years of doing continued trainings like these kind of courses, then I started to feel like there's so much more possibility of freedom and expansion in the pose, and yes, maybe even opportunities for the poses to grow into different levels, but it was always within the safe boundaries. So I feel like the knowledge that's learned in this workshop is going to give a lot of the people those safe boundaries of protection in order for them to grow and have fun and expand in their practice and really enjoy it. One of the things I've noticed from observing people practicing in my own practice for decades now is that in the Western world, people were initially practicing without this knowledge base. And a lot of people are getting hurt, and it's not even because they're not being mindful or protective in modifying themselves, but with the increased knowledge and being able to be informed, we're now starting to see a lot of repetitive injuries happening in yoga. And a lot of it is stuff that you don't get hurt at the time. It's because there's this repetition of the joints being utilized in ways that are not optimal for the long-term health. So this is really vital for us as yoga practitioners to really be able to have this yoga practice, which is so beneficial for our future selves as well as our current selves, but to be able to do it in a way that really honors our future self as much as it does our current self.